to the report of these five great ages. There are five great ages. They are always sending the message. And then who is perceiving? The consciousness. You see, the telescope example is given. And the rays of light are putting there, and through the lens it is coming. But if there is no perceiver, then your knowledge is not happening. So, behind every one of us perceiving anything in the universe, it is by that consciousness. What a great, grand theory to understand and dive deep into that realm. We are forgetting that, and we are only focusing outside. We may here conveniently remember that the eager seeker of Nachiketas reached the door and of the preceptor and Lord of Death and raised this question, dharma, adharma, etc. So what he said? What is that? The question was, annatra dharmat, annatra dharmat. Nachiketa put this question. Tell me about that truth, which is not achievable by dharma, which is beyond adharma, which is beyond dharma. Dharma is for foundation of spiritual life, dharmic life, honest life, sincere life, pure life. These are basics. But dharma cannot lead you to realization, which is apart from dharma, apart from adharma. That was the question of Nachiketa. Annatra dharmat, annatra dharmat, annatra krita akritat. That which is achievable by doing something, that which is achievable but not doing anything, idly spending the time. Tell me that which is beyond that. That is Atman. That was the question of Nachiketa. That question is being now directly answered. The life centered in us that controls and directs all of our physical, mental, intellectual activities is the divine spark of truth, the self, it being eternal, infinite. In our ordinary life, why not you get some water you need? Give some water. If someone does that, help them. Take the water, give her. Be little sensitive so that.
Swami, could you please tilt that lamp down?
More?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, tilt the
Up. This.
I'll tell you.
the bulb that's facing
It's a glare in their eyes. So just
but
facing
now it's going to be in his eyes?
Is it glaring?
Make it
Is
go
it
down.
providing?
Okay.
Does it
Okay,
shine
it
straight
should
into
not
your
go
eyes?
that way. Now it's better?
There, that's great.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Now it's okay? Okay. In our ordinary life, we indicate objects with pronouns this, that, when one is nearer to us than the other. The nearer one is always indicated by pronoun this. When we say that chair and this pen, it clearly shows that the chair is far away and the pen is nearer. Again, the pen becomes further removed from us when it is compared with our own shirt. Then we say that pen and this shirt. Okay? Similarly, we may use the expression as that body and this mind. That mind and this intellect within ourselves when we compare our own body with our own mind and our own mind with our own intellect. Naturally, it becomes evident that the self capital, which is the core of ourselves, being the most intimate part in us, is rightly indicated by the term this. Because in the Upanishad, he is explaining in details, etena eva bijanati. Etat vaida. This is the truth. Why it is saying? Because Upanishads, every word has deep significance. When you call this, means what? Which is closer to you. This table and that door. That door means you are saying, indicating that is further away. This. And with this table, this my shirt. This shirt to my body. So you go, which is this means which is closer to you, closer to you, closer to you. Upanishad says, etad vaita. This is the thing you asked for this question. This means which is the nearest of them. Even simple one word this has so much significance inside. We all normal use is that and this, taking that practical application. So Upanishad declares that Atman is your nearest of the near, and that's why it is said this. Kimatra parishishyate, what else remains here? Meaning, comparing the various available rendering of this line and interpretations upon it, we must conclude that Shankara is the best and most appropriate. What he says, Shankara? What is there in this world that remain unknowable by the self? Kimatra parishishyate, if you know this Atman, then what remains to be known? This is the Upanishad says. What does it mean in reality? It is that what there is in this world remains unknowable by the self. If you know the self-consciousness, what else remains to be known? Meaning, self is all pervasive. Nothing remains as unknown. Where the pure knowledge is realized in jnana, there are no objects to know. Here the Upanishad says, this is that, meaning the individual self and the supreme self. These are all, you are going to little deep, those who want to. Etat vaitat. This is to be known, this is that truth. Meaning that and this they are communicating. No, if you go deep into every verse, then you can find a new way of identification with the cosmic and the individual. So what he's saying, that thou art that, the same idea is given. What the consciousness outside, nothing remains to be known because the Atman is all pervaded. And by knowing that, you know that and these are same. That means Brahma Jnana will come. Yes.
Swami, so in Swami Sarvadevananda translates the first phrase as yena utenera, which is by this self. So yena then refers to this. And when we say tattvamasi, tat is that.
That because we are using that.
That, yeah. But when the verse says yena here, it is this.
By this. Yena means by whom? Yena means by whom? What is it? Yena etena. It is by this. Etena means this. Yena by which? Which is that? What is this? This means this is the inmost reality, which is the self, capital self. And that is the same as what is you see. That with this Atman pervades everywhere. That is the idea. Now, next verse, 4th verse. Swapnantam jagaritantam Swapnantam jagaritantam Chobhu yena anupashyati Chobhu yena anupashyati Mahantam vibhumatmanam Mahantam vibhum atmanam Matva dhiro nashochati Matva dhiro nashochati. So beautiful verse. Sapnantam. In the sapna means dream. When the dream experienced in the sleep, no? When you are sleeping, you are dreaming, sapna antam. Or you can make sapnantam means maybe at the end of the dream. By whom the end of dream as well as waking. End of dream means when dream ends, that means you can say end of dream. Here, end of dream means what? It is the sleeping state or what? Here she has explained Swapnanta means things experienced in the sleep. And that I was thinking, it may give different explanation. In the dream, who experiences your dream? Swapna antam, when you are dreaming, who is giving that experience of the dream?
The mind.
Mind cannot give. It is happening in the mind. But who is remembering that? Who is observing that? Now, Ah.
Yeah.
Here is the concept, same question is coming. Now, in the previous verse, what we have said, by that same consciousness we are perceiving through our eyes, through our ears, the gross. These are the gross. Now he's taking us one step inner. What is happening? The same thing is happening when you are in dream. And in the dream, there are dream objects. The same way it is happening. In the dream time, dream eyes, dream ears, dream nose, dream tongue, dream hand, dream feet, everything is there. And corresponding dream objects are also there. So, but this experience, whatever you are dreaming, who in you has observed it?
Atman.
Whose light is that?
Atman.
That's the Atman. You can divide it saying that it is not the Atman, but it is the mind. Then you can say behind the Buddhi, you can say Buddhi has observed, intellect has observed, ego has observed. But ultimately, they are all matter, jada, jada, jada. What is behind? That is the consciousness. That same consciousness, what is happening now, giving us the experience of this waking experience, the same consciousness is giving us the awareness of the dream experience. And Jagarita Antam, Sapna Antam. In the dream, and when it is, that also goes to deep sleep. Who is there giving the idea of I slept? That consciousness, that is also an experience. Dream experience, sleep experience, waking experience. We can say these three experiences we are going to. Our life is a monotony. We think it is so much charming, but it is the same rotation wheel is going on. Day experience and night experience is divided into two, dream and sleep. And then again day, and again dream, again sleep, again dream, again sleep, again dream. This is the same thing, wheel is going round and round and round. But who is observing this? That is the Atman. Oh Nachiketa, you asked about that, and that is this. This is the Atman you are asking me. So here, yes.
So, a lot of times it is said this observer is the Atman. But I feel.
Now, you have to say language. Now, I understand your point. You cannot say anything. But what shall you say? You are reading a book. Best is to keep silent. But we cannot, because we are reading. So that's why we are saying Atman is observing. Atman does not observe. He is the everywhere. Who will observe whom? If there is two, then they will observe. But we are actually, these Upanishad sages are so kind. Look at our poor condition. How much we talk. We live in duality. I am separate, you are separate. How much we say we are all together, we are all Brahman. Things come, then we fight with each other. I'm jealous of each other. Or I love each other, whatever. So in this duality we are playing. So the sages thought, my God, how to prove to them this high philosophy. How to do that? Oh, then he said, yes, who is observing? He is observing. Drashta Drishya. This word does not mean anything in the ultimate experience. When Drashta merges into Drishya, or Drishya merges into Drashta. There is no Drishya at all. There is no visible universe. There is no observable universe. Observer, observed, and the observation, three become one. It is called the Triputi Laya in the Sanskrit, in Vedantic term. Triputi, these special features of the same. Laya, they merge, collapse. Fall of the Berlin Wall. The differences all go. This side and that side, it become one. So, secular and spiritual just evaporates. Spiritual and mundane, there is no such thing. Me, and you does not exist there. Who will say I? There is no I. Who will say thou? There is no thou. That's why do you say I am that? Why do you say I am that? This is for Ajnani Jano Buddhartham, for to make fools like us to understand a bit. So Upanishad is kind enough and they're giving some data like this. But actually you cannot say it is only one who will say who is observer, who is observing, what is the object of observation. So any observation word when you, if you say seer, when you say see means you are talking about duality. Observer is there who sees, observed object is there, and there should be some sense organs or connecting instrument. Is it not? That's your question. So he says Sapnantang, Jagaritantang ba cha ubho. These two states, yena anupashyati. Yena means by whom it is pashyati means observed or seen. Anupashyati means which follows this object to see. That's why it's a consciousness percolates as it were. Vedantic idea, the Satchidananda consciousness, Atman consciousness, first reflects on the ego. That's why we are so, everyone is proud of my ego. I. Huh? You say whatever, you touch my eye, even you can do something in the physical, I don't mind. But you touch my ego, then it is very difficult. Trump ego. Or whatever, my ego, your ego, that ego, this is also part of the ego. So ego play, there is a big thing. A scientist's ego, a philosopher's ego, intellectual people's ego. My God, it is very difficult. So this is the ego, but ego is powerless. It is a matter. How did it get so much strength? It's the light of the Atman flashing, the first layer. So it is so much lighted and all power as if he thinks I am controlling all the next. So ego is like then reflected light. Though the Atman light is the original, it reflects on the ego. Ego gets lighted, I. Then I falls on the intellect. Intellects get lighted. Intellect says, oh, he is my boss. Who is the boss? They forgot Atman is the boss. They make ego is the boss because ego's light is coming here. And then mind says, oh, intellect is the boss. I'll have to, sir, yes sir, to intellect. Intellect gets the light. And that mind's light falls on the senses. And the senses become then alive. Senses say, oh, mind is my boss. All the senses, mind is the boss. Because this light, the eternal light of the self is percolating. The immediate people, we see whom? Who is more powerful? Not Trump, but our highway patrol. Is it not? You are driving. It is not that what is going on in White House. That is not important. Important the power percolated to the police officer who is, all the cars are very gentle and all speed is arrested. When you see your GPS says, hey, there is police car somewhere. Is it not? So what is the power? The policeman is like you and me. Why you are saying, sir, did I do anything wrong? Please. Why are you begging such thing to the police officer? What is he? It is not he. The power percolates. He can give me big fine. He can give me free. So I am begging to. But it is not his power. It is the power of the government that percolates. Similarly here, exactly. The government, the main boss is very kind and generous. He does not care that whether anyone remembers him or whether he gives thanks to God or the Atman. He does not care. But ego says, hey, what? I am the boss. You don't listen to me. So ego, intellect, mind, the pranic energy to the body and the outer senses. So these are all false, fake people. They get the power from inside and they become powerful. That's why in devotional school also you can think, Everything is, oh mother, you are doing everything. I am only an instrument. No, these are all instruments. But instruments become powerful. And we give all thanks to the powerful people who are in vicinity to us, not the original. That's why every devotee can thank God every day, million times, for all our experiences, what is happening. Every breath we are breathing, we should give thanks to God. But who gives thanks to God? We give thanks to our heart. Or the lungs is working so hard, no? So you give thanks to those servants and servants who are instruments, but you don't know who is the power behind. So this is the point. So yena swapnantam jagaritantam cha ubho, of these two states, yena, by whom, onupashyati, who sees this, who behind the waking state, dream state, here swapnantam and jagaritantam. That means one is the dream state, one is sleep state, who observes this. And waking state already have been mentioned in the verse number 3. So he who does, that is called Mahantam, Vibhum, Atmanam. That is Mahantu, that's the greatest of the great. Vibhu, it's a all-pervasive reality. And that is the your Atman. That is your Atman. And knowing that, Matva means meditating on that, realizing that, focusing on that. Dhiro na sochati, who become very intelligent and calm. They don't grieve for anything because there is no loss in that, because he knows everything is permeated by that consciousness. So, beautiful verse. It says here, the translation, go to the page 120. Whatever experiences a person has, whether in the sleeping state or in the waking state, are possibly because of the great all-pervasive self. An enlightened soul realizes his oneness with the great self and is no longer subject to grief. We all experience the three states, the waking, the sleeping, and the dreamless state. In the waking state, both the mind and the body are active. The sense organs carry their impressions to the mind, and the mind collates them as if mind is their master. The mind may be their immediate master, but it is not the ultimate master. The ultimate master is the self, capital, for the mind derives its authority from the self. Mind derives its authority. When we sleep, the body is at rest, but the mind is active. We dream about traveling, meeting people, doing things we normally do in the waking state. This shows that the mind is independent of the body, but the mind is dependent on the self. Mind is independent of the body, but mind depends on the self. If the self capital is not there, mind cannot function. When we have dreamless sleep, the mind is no longer active. This happens because of the self has temporarily withdrawn the power it had delegated to the mind. As if that happens. If you are withdrawn from your position, then what is your power? Any big officer, when his job is gone, even the CEO is fired, what happens to the power? Before, when he was in the power, CEO said this and that. One order of CEO changes everything, no? Now the CEO is fired. What will happen? The company has fired the CEO. So that happens when we are in the dreamless sleep state. The body and the mind are both now seemingly dead, as if the self has cast them away as useless adjuncts. After a while, when you wake up, we take time to recognize our surroundings and what time of the day it is. Sometimes we do. When you are in deep sleep, you wake up, you forget, oh, where I am. And particularly if you travel too much. We take time to recognize our surroundings and what time of the day it is. We feel, however, highly refreshed. This is because during the deep sleep, the self went back to its real nature. even if only for a while. But ignorance drags us back to our waking state, and we are again caught in the whirlpool of this life struggle. But there are discerning people who see the self as the substance of all experiences they have in different states. So we can really every day live in this consciousness that whatever I am perceiving, that is the consciousness, is myself. Because of that power of the self, I see, I feel, I taste, I dream, I understand, I misunderstand. I am angry, I am happy, I am unhappy. Everything, these sensations are happening because of that consciousness. That's the awareness, no? Bhakta will say it is God, God, God. And Vedanta will say Atman, Atman, Atman. These experiences are possible because of the self, capital, but they make no impression on the self. Actually, it does not create any impression. As in the movie, the white screen remains the white screen. How much fire, how much flood, how much killing, how much destruction goes on projected. The screen remains the same. The Atman remains every time the same in its own pristine glory. The self is in the witness to the experiences. It is like a movie screen on which a series of events is projected without affecting the screen in the least. These discerning people also realize their oneness with the self. They remain as witness to what happens. That is the point, what we want. They remain always aware of the witness consciousness. So they don't get affected by what the happening now. That's why Nisargadatta and others, they say, yeah, what has happened? What has to happen? It is happening. What's that to me? It will happen. You do your effort. That's also one part of the happening. And the reaction comes this way. That's also happening. But what's that to me? I am the observer. So to stand on this platform always. That is the actual benefit of being a Vedanta student. That how we verify our calmness and serenity every day in the face of odd situation, thinking, nothing happening to me, real me. Yes, it is happening, affecting my body. Yes, it may be affecting my mind, or my understanding, or my ego, but nothing happening to me. So this is the glory. We are saying this again and again, but when we can stand in that level of awareness, then what can give you suffering? Who can do anything to you? Because that you is undisturbed. No one can touch that ground. There is nobody in the world because the world collapses there. The world exists because of that. Anything? Question now?
Is seeing through the eye more challenging just because in culture and everyday life it's a habit to use the eye? So is it just because it's a habit that it's so strong? Why is the impulse so strong?
Yeah, because we have, Hari Maharaj said, because from your childhood you are said, I am the body, I am the body, I am the body. I am a girl, I am a girl, I am a girl, I am a boy, I am a boy, I am a boy. We have become boy, we have become girl. We are neither boy, neither girl. That's why Swamiji said, if I have a child, I would have taught, I am Atman. Tat Tvamasi, thou art that. Because we are trained, it's brainwashing. So brainwashing done this way, let us brainwash opposite way. Now, again and again say, I am Atman, I am Atman, I am Atman. And Swami Turiyanandaji said, thinking of I am the body, you have become the body. Now you say, I am the Atman, you will be Atman. It takes time. As much time, Holy Mother said that there is a kite and it is on the wheel with a string, no? And you have let it go out. As much as you have given out, you want to pull it back, you have to, the same thing will come back. So what we have let or allowed to be inside, then we can change it the opposite way. I am the body, I am the body, I am not the body, I am not the body. Every time it says no, and then analyze why I am not the body, why I am not this experience. We are so attached to our experiences. We support that, we fight for that. But this experience is happening, a thing, one experience after another experience, coming and going, all because of the consciousness. So if we can really think every time when you get disturbed, let me analyze what is happening. You are following the path of Vedanta. That's why you have to use that tool. What is happening here? Is it not the body-mind reaction happening? What is happening to me? That means you have to be strong enough, you have done enough meditation or reflection that this body, how the body functions, how the mind functions. All the time the scripture is helping us. If we can take their advice and apply in our life, then it will be a help to conquer all these weaknesses. It is naturally we will be able to do, and that is the assertion of the scriptures, all the great souls, the Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Vivekananda, particularly Turiyananda, those who are expressively Vedantic, there we find. But it is a mistaken identity. We have to de-hypnotize. Swamiji says the word, we are hypnotized. If I am hypnotized, what you can do? If you cry, there is no solution. Its hypnotism will not go. Yeah? De-hypnotize. Ramakrishna said, you have covered your eyes with a veil. Remove that veil. You are holding a big tree and say, oh, the tree is holding me. How can I get out of it? Are let go. Huh? There is a song, beautiful song. Acho onole onile, shirono bhunile, budhare sholile gahone. Acho bitopi latai, jolodero gai, shoshi tarokai tapone. O Lord, you are where you are not. Acho onole in the fire, onile in the air. Acho onole onile, chirono bhunile. The ever green, ever blue sky. Onile, onile, chironavunile, bhudhare, in the ground, in the earth. Solile, in the water, in the ocean. Bhudhare, solile, gahane, in the deepest forest. Acho bitopi latai, in the creeper. In the big tree, gigantic tree, and also a little creeper. You are there, you are here. Bitopi latai, jaloderogai. Shoshi tarokai tapone. You are in the moon, you are in the sun, you are in the stars, galaxies of stars. And what I am doing? Ami noyoni vasana madhiya. I have taken some cloth, and tied over my eyes, and make a knot. Adhare murigo kadiya. I sit in one corner, দেখি নাই, I don't see anything, বুঝি নাই কিছু, I don't understand anything. Oh, who you are there, please help me, help me, help me. Take out your, de-hypnotize, take out your bondage, say, I am not this. Analyze this. That is the truth. We actually, we are every moment leading with that consciousness, living in that consciousness. Every experience is going through that, but we are focused on the events here, which event is being enlightened by the light of the consciousness, but not on the consciousness itself. So it is the dehypnotizing. It is like brainwashing. So you brainwash the opposite way. The brainwashing, I am the body, I am the body, I am limited, I am poor, I am uneducated, I am educated, I am rich, I am poor. All this thing. Now say, I am Atman, I am Atman, I am Atman. Not this, not this, not this. And it is to be rigorous practice every day, morning to night, and night to morning. If you can, whole night you can do that. If you not, next day again start. Let it go on and on till you die. So that is the advice of the scriptures. Yes.
Swami, this morning I made myself a beautiful cup of coffee and I put it in my favorite cup and I marched into the living room. I got all sat down and knocked the thing off the table and onto the floor and the boiling water and everything went everywhere. And I just laughed. And normally I'd have some interesting things to say about that in my former life. But being very pure, then, I cleaned it up. It didn't bother me, it didn't touch me, so it fell on the floor. It's nothing to do with me. I'll just make another one. And I thought, that's so unlike me. But it was the impression of a purer consciousness, which is the same thing as the act.
It is always unadulterated. That is always unadulterated. But we are mixing up with things, that's why it gets adulterated as it were. But it is always stainless. Atman is pure and stainless at this point also, every moment of our life. So we have to again and again revitalize our understanding and strengthen our understanding, not to hang on to what I am seeing, feeling, tasting, touching. This experience, that experience should be back to the experiencer who is experiencing. So long I am experiencing, I said, experiencer. The very first verse we read, the car is not enjoying its own journey. The car is enjoyed by someone who is the owner of the car. So this car, whatever it is from birth till today, it is going through good and bad, this and that. It is not for the car, not for the body, not for his headlight, not for his wheels and feet, but it is for someone who is sitting in the heart for that. And that you call devotion God or Ramakrishna, you say something, and in Vedanta you call Atman. That is the consciousness. He riding the car. That's the very first verse we read it here. Atmanam Rathinam Viddhi. So this is a grand philosophy to think whole day in every action. Then action will be done. Work will go on. But there will come a joy of freedom, not being involved into it.
You say it's in the heart. Is it everywhere or do you see it?
First you feel in the heart, because heart is the place of your experience. Feeling center. That's why we call heart. It's everywhere.
Is my heart a thing of infinity, or is it just a little heart? Is it everything?
It is called the Hridaya Akasha. It is a space. The space is infinite.
It isn't.
Anything you go to the space, it is infinite. Atomic space, nuclear space, you see, vast. So that is, we have to understand, we locate sometimes say because it's the feeling center, we can understand in and out, because we have the concept of in and out, that's why we say in the heart. It is everywhere, not only in the heart. So, what shall we do now?
Sometimes stomach also, when you feel
What she said? Sometimes in the stomach also.
Well, they have found out, Swami, like there are as many nerves in your stomach, your heart, and the brain. They're all connected
All
and
connected.
communicating.
This is not the physical heart, this is the spiritual heart.
But
But they're connected.
Too.
Yes.
Isn't it heart means center?
Eh?
Heart, whenever we say heart of the thing, that is center of the
Center of the heart. That you can think that way. Yeah. And heart also in yogic sense, we go to not to the physical heart. You go to the center of the spine in that heart area. There you think the lotus in the spine, no? That is the yogic heart. Around that, and there are lotus. People imagine the lotus, color of the lotus like that. And of course, Upanishad, many places they mention the heart, the physical heart, because it is in the shape Angushtamatra Purusha, The heart is looked like a thumb. They gave the example, Angushta Matra Purusha Antaratma. There is the Antaratman. And a feeling center. When you start feeling, then you forget everything. But when you start entering into that feeling, we meditate. Normally, better a place, our scripture suggests that is the best place for meditation. Not that it is not anywhere, but it is much easier because the feeling center, you can feel the joy, you can feel the presence like that. And that starts, and when it starts, then it goes everywhere. So, shall we end here or what? You have any question? I have not read these two books. I can quickly finish this reading so that we need not have to read again tomorrow, next day. So, here, this Chinmayananda Swami's book says, he by whom the end of dream as well as waking is perceived, that all pervading great self I am, knowing this the wise grieves not. Here Lord Death is slightly elaborating upon the greatest significances and the practical application in the life of the knowledge of Atman in us. In these days, the skeptics, these days of skepticism, lustful madness for profits and materialistic hoarding, the educated class of Hindus all over the country asked sarcastically, of what use is this wonderful knowledge of Atman, who is the Vedanta preaches? Does it bring me candy? Understand? Like the children, if you do anything, what will you bring? Can I get few candies? So the materialistic view of life will be, what shall I do with it? What it is helping me in my day-to-day life? Can it set up our progress? Can it cure the poverty in the world or bring about universal peace and joy? Though one is tempted to curse this generation for its unintelligent approach to religion, we must at once admit that there was probably never in the history of the world a generation born so sensitive as ours and so sincerely seeking to establish a common peace and universal brotherhood. Here, in this stanza, we have a sufficiently broad hint as to the mental state, the physical condition, and the intellectual attitude of a seeker who has come to grasp this true great knowledge. We have already found in the previous mantra that the world of waking state, experienced through our five senses of knowledge, is made possible only because of the vital intelligence, the life force that presides in our body. In life, we are not in any particular body. If life were not in any particular body, however great and noble that Mahatma might have been, however intelligent the scientist, however emotional the poet, when one's life has ceased to preside over the body, none of them would have any more function when once the life has ceased to preside. That means Atman is presiding here. So that eyes are seeing our activities going on. You are a scientist because of that. You are a poet because of that. You are a great person because of that, because of the consciousness. If it is gone, then it is dead. So, thus we have already found out that the intelligent entity, the Atman, is the illuminator of all our awareness of waking state. There could be none who had not experienced what a dream is. One and the same consciousness illumines for us not only the world of our waking state, but it also lights up for us in the experience of the dream state. The goal of life, the highest achievement of man, is to get himself completely detached from this false identification with his body, mind, intellect, and come to rediscover himself to be nothing other than that divine spark, DNS capital, which is the director, controller, and of all activities manifested in the outer environment. Here also he is giving the quality as if Atman is the doer. He is the chief controller of all activities, manifestation of the outer. It is just to say a few words, otherwise how they will describe. Otherwise it does not do anything. Mahantam Vibhu means great and omnipresent. In the final experience of God consciousness, the perfected one establishes his identity with his soul, thereby at once realizes his own nature as great and omnipresent. For we have already found that the individual self is the supreme self. Now, having realized this factor, this truth, the realized saint grieves no more, no sochati. Sense of limitation is the mother of desire. No? We are limited. There comes the idea desire. No? Why desire? Desire comes because I am limited. I have not this thing, I want that. I have never acquired this many, this is belonging there, I can grab it. So it is only desire because we are limited. Desire rise in the storm clouds of whistling thoughts to seek through a noisy bosom and drive the sense organs to gallop out into the muddy mess work of the sense objects. Whenever you desire something, suppose you are going home, now you desire, oh, I have no milk tomorrow morning. What will you do? You drive your car, will go to the to that shop to get a bucket of milk, no? So desire, whenever any desire, it prompts into action. And why you desire? Because you are limited. You have lack of milk, or whatever you are lacking, for that you desire, and that desire prompts you to that action. Desire action. Avidya, Kama, Karma. That's Vedanta philosophy, Shankara's eternal philosophy. Avidya, ignorance. Ignorance makes you separate from the infinite. You think you are this limited. Avidya. And then Kama, because I am limited, I lack so many things. I want this, I want that, I want that. I will fulfill by getting it. Therefore, Kama, desire. And Kama, when the Kama comes, desire comes, you are to be engaged in action. And when you engage in action, action brings its good and bad effects. So, desire we found can rise only when there is a sense of imperfection. When a perfect human being who has ended all these misunderstandings of himself has come to the knowledge that he is the supreme awareness in himself, he is absolute sense of perfection. His absolute sense of perfection shall desire no more for anything for the world. Such a perfected one is a God-man upon earth. So, the God, and when a mortal has finally realized and come to live continuously in God consciousness, him certainly no sorrow can approach. Okay? So we end here. Om Shahana Bhavatu Shahano Gunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadi Namastu Ma Vidvisha Bahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram Krishna Panam Astu.
Give it to him. Who gave it? He will take it.